Curse of the White Corsair, Book 3, Ólafur and Ásta, Vestmannaeyjar, Iceland, 1639, Ólafur Egilsson. Time ticks on, my all is gone, my life is sad, I'm old and slow, but on I pad and on I go, a shell I am, a nothing man, from the woe of the Geranio. I pray reverse the river's flow, to stop, reset God's metronome, re-equip for what's now known, save Ásta, so our simple home. I'd earn to buy a dozen guns, to shoot to save my doted sons. My sons, lost sons, devoted sons, still strong the pain, it constant comes. In waves, the pain, in painful waves I still appraised a crescent slave, a slave to pain for all my days. A decade gone, still swelled in pain, since robbers robbed our Isle of Rain, since wicked men took thee from me. Those wicked men crisscrossed the sea to tear apart my family. Why came they with hearts of hate to take what wasn't theirs to take, to smash and steal and fornicate, create a desolate, desperate state, bringing such an alien smoke to decimate us fisher folk? Us simple folk that bore no ill to any man that was until Islam came, induced alarm, and now I pray those Turks to harm. Now I pray they share my pill and suffer such as such God's will. Why came they with heads of vice from lands of sands to lands of ice? Why, when we had nought, what brought their cruelty about, when both of we were devout? Why did God's sun shine on them when all pray hard as clergymen? They corrupt as we were pure, but still God favoured more the more. Why favoured they that foul July when not a storm howled in the sky? If not before they since have sinned, so why were they blessed with that wind? Why had they 3 days to do all evil acts they wanted to? With every act, Allah Akbar, bringing hell to Vestmannaeyjar. They brought a hell to Vestmannaeyjar, those slavers out of Africa, for to fill their reservoir of souls sold at the slave bazaar. The pirates of the waning moon first up Grindavik in June, whence told by pious Jan Janszoon, "'Tis God's own place to filch for riches." 'Twas cod and plaice and pilchard fishes. The bitter, evil, lethal Turks sailed first east, then south for perks, fueled by greed and cold, cruel violence, uncontrolled, despoiled our islands. Damn them African delinquents who cracked the necks of 19 infants, filled the barns to burn for laughs, or not with worth they cut in halves. Oh, those days, 3 dismal days, when hellhounds had their wicked ways. The hounds saw every church defiled, and likewise you, and you with child. You great with child, but still they filed in line to have their go. And though you fought as sport they smiled, to drive me wild with woe. They beat you blue upon the quay, they beat our sons, then they beat me, and he who helped from Grindavik, they beat his ear off with a stick. They beat that beauty Gudridur, did her son, for beauty, fun, for grim amour, Moors did in every one. They beat us all without remorse, I screamed until my voice was hoarse. With pleading hoarse screamed broken breath, I pleaded for my family's death. Yes, I pleaded death would come when beaten by the pirate scum. I begged barbaric parasites to beat we for to paradise. I could not take much more of this, that's why I prayed the end and bliss. There was not one they did not beat. We beaten, towed to their fleet. The air that day was stiff with whales, as off we set on sullen sails, and not a Viking eye was dry as Iceland slipped beneath the sky. As Iceland slid away from sight, that spacious sea consumed our plight. It swallowed sounds of anguished cries and spat them as submissive sighs. What were we but tethered sheep with weathered whales by scanty sleep, lacking sleep by vicious nights? Oh, the wicked sight of loved ones for Turkish delight. Those rogues, those rotten renegado rogues, who prayed more raid, so mouthed their oaths to Allah, or for any omen or warning, or for more folk stolen. For fortunes and virgins after rapture, They prayed evade a navy's capture. They prayed their rod's vitality, prayed without morality. To God they prayed, all optimism, blind to barbarous narcissism. Take the Turk with tombstone teeth, scrubbed but blood-soaked underneath. Every day he scrubbed his skin, unclean still he from deep within. Scrubbed for he practised Salah, to purify his heart for Allah. He chilled and scoured poor Margaret's palate. He'd killed her spouse with branded mallet. He scrubbed and prayed and scrubbed, with not a thought for those he'd clubbed, nor not a thought that raped or slayed, as Tombstone scrubbed before he prayed. We watched him scrub unseen blood like cattle in the hold, as animals from Noah's flood in the testament of old. They told us that we brayed like beasts, but we prayed on as passioned priests. For comfort found what Jesus saith, extolling theirs, they mocked our faith. They mocked what Christians counted blessed, what we held dear, they scorned in jest. And Tombstone even found much mirth in your distress when you gave birth. O wife, sweet dearest wife, undignified bestowing life on deck to John, third son and heir, as Tombstone stared his scurrilous stare. He stared and grinned and stared, then got more men so shame was shared. Evil men to stare and gloat at your despair on that vile boat, that evil slaving ship of shame, when we bestowed young John his name. John our hope, our ray of sun, named after Reverend Thorstein's son. Thorstein's son, a man of God, slain by Murat Reis's squad. For money killed that holy man, murdered by Puff Taliban. For money wheedles venal minds, its tainted tendrils target finds, souls to sway away repute and credit crushed in search of loot. And kin and kith and God's belief play second fiddle to the thief, whose piety dwindles more he hoards, jeopardizing heaven's rewards. The thief who sleeps on heaps of gold, through public cheats or persons sold. He who goes through this life flaunting, in the hereafter ever haunted. Ghosts of grief besiege that thief. Grief ghosts of people stealed. In death he'll find, and wish was kind, find wealth's a useless shield. Like Tombstone Turk, who used his dirk to dominate the women. The devil's work does Tombstone Turk, to hell is Tombstone heading. Yet still carefree, appearing proud, sings his sanctimonious sermon, his hypocrite ditty sung aloud, translated by a Derman. Tombstone Turk. Wind hith on this stormy night, he-ho, a stormy night. Slaves, oh slaves, a sorry sad sight. I went to ship the freedom off in a jiff, he-ho, in a jiff. He-ho, and on they go, till one buccaneer will soon let 'em go. For if man hath a heart, then it not seem it so. He-ho, this dreadful threed, in rain and snow. This man's compassionate heart, ye see, I promised him land, he would set him free. He-ho, they went to dock after a week at sea. He ran to the woods to fire randomly. Attack, man screamed as they all set to flee. The buccaneer went to set 'em all free. So good gods in a heart of its bandustry. He-ho! Good gods in a heart of his bandustry. He sung, sufficed with holy hope, sung if dipped, flogging us with rope. He sung without ironic trace, singing during brutal rapes.